Hello, fellow Blight survivors, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of a new series covering The Last Plague Blight. If you would like to skip the game's overview or the details about this series, please use YouTube chapters. Welcome everybody to the October Miniseries Marathon, where I am going to be streaming The Last Plague Blight. The Last Plague Blight is an open-world survival and crafting game where you're returning home after travel to find your home blighted so severely you can't even enter the town without dying. You're stranded out in the wilderness and have to make shelter, forage and hunt for food, and build your own self-made kilns, forages, workbenches in order to acquire tools to survive. For this specific series, it will be a mix of Let's Play and tutorial, as well as playing on single player. I'll be playing on standard difficulty, rather than the easier one, and with more realistic playstyle. So I have to navigate with a compass and map, and not know exactly where I am at any given time. And the priority I work towards will be determined by polling. So, let's get started. There are two game modes. There's the easier game mode, where you don't have to eat or drink as much, and hostile creatures are fewer, and Blight spreads more slowly. And Blight is like the overarching danger and difficulty ramp of the game, which I will explain later. And then realistic, more realistic playstyle, where you navigate with a compass and map, rather than just have your location on the world map at all times. I am not going to be hiding the tutorial hints or skipping the tutorial tasks, because I want to play through them for your benefit. It's also worth noting that this is an early access title that is updating pretty regularly. As you can see, just yesterday, it had a very major update adding third-person mode. I learned the game playing its standard camera, wishing there was a third-person mode. But because I'm actually better at the standard camera, I'm going to be using the standard camera. I just want you to know that there is a third-person camera, which is a lot more familiar to most. A third-person camera would be a camera like you'd play in V-Rising or Valheim or something like that. All right. So, to start, let's do the UI. There's really not that much UI. On the left, you have your sleep, which is the top bar here. There's actually a bar of stamina above the sleep bar when you're running around and stuff. So your energy bar, and you need to sleep to refill that mostly. You have your hunger, your thirst, and your health. Very straightforward. Then you have your main hand and offhand, and then 4 belt slots for other tools. Tab is your inventory. C for crafting, B for building, R for repairing, J for the journal, M for the map, and P for character actions, which is really just like lie down on the ground. It's way better to lie in a bedroll instead. Right at the start of the game here, I want to figure out exactly where I am. The map is procedurally generated. So what I am looking for is a marker around one of these towns that say home. To know... Okay, so my home is in Fool's Hope. So that means I spawned close to Fool's Hope. And I am actually, fortunately, spawning at a crossroads, so it's actually going to be really easy to find where I am. I think I'm literally right here. Is this main road go east-west and then it forks to the south? Let's see if that's the case. So I'm going to pick up my compass. The fork is to the south. This is the east-west road. So yes, I'm exactly right there. Already figured that out. That was really easy. So the first thing I want to do after figuring out where I am, because that's of course important, is to figure out where I want to settle. And this is going to go slightly into spoiler territory. Not very much. But only because I'd want to put down a shelter where is going to benefit me long term. Basically, using my game knowledge to place myself somewhere good. Because on your first playthrough, you don't necessarily know what resources you're going to need and what places you're going to need to travel to and where it is even good to set up. I will say one thing. The green clouds are blight clouds. And these cities, as you can see, all of these cities on the map, are blighted, and the blight clouds spread out from the cities. So do not settle near a city. Don't. Because in short order, your settlement, your little shelter will become overrun with plague and you'll have to move. And that sucks because it takes a lot of effort and time to build shelter in this game. And if you have to abandon it, you're basically starting from zero, and that's going to be rough. So, on this map here, you have forests, which are these pine tree areas, lakes, I would say rocky outcroppings, where you're going to find like copper and tin and possibly caves with better resources. And then you also have swamps. And swamps play a role later on. So the ideal spot to live in my opinion, is somewhere that is close to trees, that is easily navigatable. Ideally somewhere with water, trees, and a road nearby. And I'm looking around. Just this peninsula of this lake might be nice. So let's travel there, which is west-northwest of where I am. And let's check it out. So, heading west, here we go. So now that I'm sprinting on the bottom left, you can see my stamina bar. And I'm going to walk around holding my compass at all times so that I can navigate. Things to look out for. So if you hit left alt, you can pick up items. And, oh right, the bedroll's like way too big. So I want to be picking up dogbane while I run around the forest here. If I had more space in my bag, I'd also pick up the long sticks. But dogbane and long sticks, you will need a lot of to build. Oh, look at all these lovely blueberry bushes. You know what? I am going to pick these blueberry bushes. So, before I do anything more, I want to show you, in gameplay options, you can do speed up time ability for off some interactions or all interactions. I like all interactions. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to accelerate time for tasks where you just be standing there, like picking up blueberries. Because I don't necessarily want to spend like 10 minutes picking blueberries, so I'll just accelerate time. Also, ginseng, pretty good to collect early on. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers. Oh, and you know what? How about I move where I am? Because I'm like totally blocking the compass, which is like a dumb spot for my face. So there we go. And I'll have to do the same with Yoda. Yoda, you have to move too. I want you guys to be able to see the compass as well. So I'm going to try to tell you as much as I can without doing too many spoilers of like what to pick up, where to go, what to do, that kind of thing. While also avoiding as many spoilers as possible. So we're walking along this Fool's Hope to Kine Cardine road. Do not go into the plague clouds unless you like being a corpse. Other useful things to pick up is chamomile. So I would say early on, like ginseng, dogbane, chamomile. That's going to be your jam. And I'm going to start eating these blueberries. Now, these blueberries are like 2 to 3% contaminated. Really not that big of a deal early on. But what ends up happening over the course of time in this game is everything becomes more contaminated. So foraging and hunting for food becomes more dangerous to your health as time progresses. And there's ways to counter that, which we will find much later on in the game. So there are a few different types of biomes in this game. There's like these open plains with very few trees, but it's very good line of sights, and it's really easy to find predators and the like. And then you've got forests with like full of mushrooms and stuff like that. And then you've got swamps and the coast and rocky outcroppings. So I'm probably about here on the road. So I'm going to actually turn west, jump off the road, start picking dandelions, and work on setting up a starter camp. Graphics seem a little bit too bloom heavy. You know, I might be able to turn off bloom. Let's see. Bloom intensity. Aha! Hope that's easier on the eyes. So if my navigation is not incorrect, I should be coming up on a lake up ahead soon. And while you're wandering around, the towns are blighted to hell, and you can't really enter them. But there's nothing stopping you from entering any cabins that you see. So keep an eye out for, like, wooden cabins, because they can have incredibly important and powerful things in them. Like discarded tools and the like. And that will jumpstart your tech level tremendously. Alright, I am essentially ignoring the tutorial because I don't need to run through it, but I will hit J to open up the journal because it's telling me to. And it wants me to set up a camp near water. And I cannot stress enough, no matter where you settle, you're going to need water nearby. There is, like, water collectors and things like that, but they're just not that reliable. It doesn't rain that often, and you're going to want a source of water. So this, I believe, is the southern end of the lake that I identified. And there's the peninsula that I wanted to settle near. Along the coast of the lake, there's clay, which is going to be a really important resource for jump-starting technology pretty early on. But what I want to do is I want to circumnavigate this lake until there's the river. One of the advantages of living near, like living on this river is it will be easy to navigate back to. So if I go traveling a long way out, I can find my way back home, no problem. Now, there is a bit of an issue of fording rivers because your gear will get wet. And when your gear gets wet, it does potentially rust. One thing that you could do, which is going to be tough for me to do because my bag is so full of stuff, is to move stuff into your bag because the things on your belt get wet first. Your things in your bag take a little bit of time to get wet. So I'm trying to make room for my hatchet in the bag so I can go across the river. Also, don't drink river water. You're gonna need to boil it. No, I got wet anyway. That's okay. Alright, so I want to settle maybe somewhere around here. This is the peninsula I identified. So I know exactly where I am on the map. I'm literally right here, as the geography matches. And yes, this is a procedurally generated game. So, like, you're not going to have the same river. You're not going to have the same lake. But I like it. This will work. Alright. So collect materials for a fire pit. Got it. So I'm going to need 10 small stones for a fire pit. And to that end, I am going to place my bedroll down here because it takes up a lot of room in my bag. And I'm going to right-click here, home. So I've now marked my map with home, and I'm going to remove my old mark. Oh, maybe I can't. So let's collect 10 stone. And you can break larger stones down into smaller stones using stones. So large stones count for 4 stones. There's other uses for large stones, so you might not want to break down all the large stones that you have access to. But what I could do is equip a small stone and then break the large stone down into smaller stones for a fire pit. So now I have a bunch of stones. So I have 8 of the 10 that I require. I'm going to leave this large stone here for later. Oh, no, there's enough large stones around me. I'll break another one down. You can also throw stones at enemies. I would not advise it unless you're really, really far away from the enemies. Because if you're close to the enemies and you throw stones, they're just going to chase you. You know, like wolves, bears, that kind of thing, coyotes. But if you're far away from the wolves, bears, coyotes, etc., you'll make them flee. If you're really close to your building location, you will transfer materials to it. If you're too far away, it will tell you that you can't. Also, it does think that this area is a little bit of water, but that's fine. So I'm going to place it here and build it. Cool. Very important game mechanic is that when you go to sleep, you need to have a lit fire. Well, you don't need to have a lit fire, but it's very helpful to have a lit fire because it will keep predators away. Most predators. There is a caveat there. Once you have a shelter and roof over your head and strong walls and things like that, it's a little bit less important, but still, I would say somewhat important. So stockpile some firewood so that I can light the fire pit. So that's what I am going to do. Stockpile firewood and boil water for thirst. All right. One of the advantages of being this giant forest is it's going to be really easy for me to source firewood. So let's equip the hatchet again, and I'll cut down this large tree. Don't let it fall on you, it will hurt. And when you cut down the tree, it doesn't just drop the tree, it drops like twigs, sticks, pine branches, pine cones. Pine cones is actually a really good source of food early on to get pine nuts. This large tree, I don't think dropped any pine cones. And then you can chop up the tree into smaller pieces, grab these smaller pieces, and then stack them vertically to cut them into firewood. Whoa! We yeeted that stick. The condition and quality of your tools indicates how efficient they were or are at working. So in this case, here's my fire pit. I can have a cooking surface and multiple ingredients. I can fuel. I can heat or dry items. Like drying items would be like chamomile flowers. I can dry here in order to make teas out of. And then you can just easily right-click to add fuel to the fire. So the next thing we want to do is to get this fire actually started. The best way to do that is probably try to find a small piece of flint instead of rubbing sticks together, because rubbing sticks together is not exactly efficient. And because it's still daytime, I don't really need to rush. The other thing that is really useful is anything that you have here, you can just make stockpiles out of. Or not everything, but most things. So I can just say, hey, stockpile of sticks, stockpile of twigs, stockpile of long sticks, and all these things are going to be building materials later on. So we can start collecting all these potential building materials to amass them so that when it comes time to building shelter, I have just a giant stockpile of all the useful materials. So pine branch, stockpile, twig stockpile, and to add to it, I just have to right-click. It's really easy. I'll even start a stockpile of small stones. Now, small items like dandelion roots and ginseng roots and things like that, you can't stockpile. They're a bit of an exception. So, I will vertically stack the thick logs here so that I can cut more firewood later on. And I want to go looking for... Well, actually, what I'll start to do is add kindling and tinder to the fire pit. So I'm going to right-click these pine branches, craft with it, and break the pine branches into pine leaves and sticks. And then right-click the sticks and break the sticks into twigs. So pine leaves and twigs are very good at kindling and tinder. And if you have, if you fill up your kindling and tinder, it increases your chances of setting the fire. All right. Now I could start this fire with just rubbing sticks together, but like I said, I'd rather go and try to find some flint. And while I'm out here, I'm going to be collecting long sticks. I cannot stress enough how many long sticks you're going to need to initially build your shelter. And unlike regular sticks, which typically will drop off of cut down trees, long sticks, you only get like one per tree. So searching the outside for long sticks is something you're going to spend a lot of time doing. So collecting them anytime it's convenient is really, really smart. So often you'll find like flint around rock outcroppings like this one. There just happens to be none here. So I'm going to keep poking about. And yeah, I know I'm not picking up all the long sticks. But that's mostly because I'd like to make progress in setting this fire up. And if I stopped for every long stick, it would be dark before I finished. Oh, here we go. Small piece of flint. Perfect. Yoink! Alright, let's ignite the fire pit. And you're also, yes, gonna need tons of dogbane. So dogbane is torn up in and crafted into rope. And you're gonna need lots of long sticks and lots of rope to be able to build anything. All right, so here we are. It takes 1 minute to ignite. The fuel will last for 7 hours. Let's fire it up. There we go. I'm going to pick up the bedroll and place it next to the fire. It doesn't really need to be, but the closer you are to the fire is what wards away predators. So the closer you are to the fire, the safer you are effectively. The next thing I'd like to do is to figure out my thirst. So I'm going to grab a large stone over here and craft a stone bowl out of it. So if I right click here, I can say craft with, and with a large stone and a small stone, I can basically hammer out a small stone bowl. And this small bowl can become a surface to cook on, and also to fill up lake water, and to boil the lake water so it's safe. So if you mouse over the lake water, it's 200 milliliters of lake water. Drinking it will fulfill 24 of my hydration, but also blight me 16. You don't want to be blighted. Do not get blighted, especially early on. So I'm going to stick it in the fire pit and boil it, and it will be done in 14 minutes. And while we wait on that, I am going to tear up these dogbane into plant ropes, because that will pass the time as the water gets boiled. So my food is 80 out of 100, but my water is only 39 of 100. Water is really easy to fulfill because all you got to do is boil water, and keeping a fire going is not that tough. Let's start a firewood stockpile. Now, with that in mind, if things get wet, it does not burn. So, putting a roof over your firewood is like a pretty smart, and yourself for that matter, is a pretty smart thing to do really early on, so that you, if it does rain, you are not screwed, where you have to figure out how to keep a fire going. With that said, even when it's raining, if you cut down a fresh tree, the wood of the fresh tree will not be wet. So right-click this and drink all. Then I'm going to take it again and fill it up again, because my hydration still has room for improvement. All right. So I've got a little bit of... The fire pit's on for about 10 hours, and I have 4 more pieces of firewood. That's pretty good. The tutorial wants me to craft a rabbit snare. So that's what I'm going to do next. Trap rabbits. Soulblighter, tie-dye, and MRX, thank you for the resubs. And Lorix, and Conhumanus, cheers. Cheers to you all. So if we want a rabbit snare, it is 6 sticks, 3 rope. So when you're interacting with a stockpile, if you hold left control, you drag 1. And if you hold left alt, you drag half a stack, so as you can split stacks. So I wanted 3 rope, so I can take 3 out of it. And if you hold shift, you transfer the whole stack. So if I held shift here, I would transfer the whole stack over. So speaking about recipes, there are some recipes that following the main story it will tell you about, and there's some recipes that you just have to discover for yourself. So to that end, the recipes that you have to discover for yourself, I am not going to keep a secret. I kind of know them all. But the recipes that you use and learn through the main story, I will not be using until I learn them naturally through the story. So to that end, we have water here, and I am going to make tea. I'm going to make some ginseng root tea. So the ginseng that I picked, I cut up the roots, and I'm boiling the roots in the water to make tea to keep me awake a little bit longer. All right, let's get the sticks for the snare. So I need 6 sticks. Orbital Laser, thank you for the resub too. I'm tiny today? I know. I didn't eat my spinach. I have 9 sticks, so that will do. It's an item. Rabbit snare. Alright. You don't actually have to add bait to the snare. At least not yet. If that's a game mechanic later on. Don't quote me, because that might be a thing later on. It's also worth noting that rabbits, as well as any non-predators, will run away from you. So don't put the snare like directly next to your camp, because the rabbit will run away from you. So if the snare is directly next to your camp, you're not going to catch any rabbits. You're just going to have an empty snare all the time. Also worth noting that if a rabbit gets ensnared, predators will try to eat the snared rabbit. So additionally, if it's too close to your camp, you're inviting predators like coyotes, wolves, and bears to come investigate your food. So got to be careful with that too. I want 2 rabbit snares though. 1 apparently wasn't enough for me. You saw a depressed mushroom. You hope it feels better soon? That's very kind of you. But, you know, he's a fun guy. He'll bounce back. Alright, 2 snares. There we go. I am going to spend the rest of the daylight here. Well, actually, the game wants me to make a small charcoal pile as part of the tutorial down here. Maybe I'll do that. Having a little charcoal early on is not necessarily a bad thing. So, build with small charcoal pile. Charcoal is going to allow me to work with clay in a kiln to make pottery and stuff. So this charcoal pile needs 9 more sticks and 2,000 dirt, which is everywhere. I mean, you're going to get dirt by the boatloads. I'm going to make some more fresh water. So now that I've drinking the ginseng tea, I have a little bit of an energy boost. So for 20 minutes, I'll recover a little bit of my like tiredness. So it's like forest coffee. Speaking of which, cheers. Quietland, Fihi, and Raymernal, thank you for the resub. So let's get this charcoal pile going. I need more sticks. So one of the ways I could get sticks, if I didn't want to forage for them, is I can cut long sticks in half. Don't do it. You need so many long sticks. Or the pine branches that I've collected, I can shred into sticks. If you cut down one of the bigger trees and it fell on something, would it damage or destroy it? Yes, it would damage it. Anything damaged can be repaired, so it's not a big deal. Just don't let it land on you, because you can't repair yourself. You can heal. There is healing in the game, but there ain't repairing. And it's actually kind of hard to heal in this game. There's not like a quick fix for healing. So my point being, try to stay as healthy as possible, because if you're hurt, it can take days to recover. Like, legit, I'm not kidding. It can take multiple days. If you're near death, like, you're not going to be well tomorrow. You're going to be messed up tomorrow. Even if you take as much medicine as possible, because you only heal so much so fast. Can't just glue on a new arm? You can't. No replacing your arm with chainsaws either. Yeah, this takes place, I'm going to say, it doesn't really tell you, but I'm going to say it's like, you know, medieval time. I mean, that's kind of the tech level that it has, so it's hard to exactly say when it's supposed to be, but it's roughly that. All right, so we dropped off the firewood and the sticks. I'm going to create a new stockpile of sticks. Drink my water. Or actually, you know what? I'll make more tea. And then the last thing we need for this thing is mud or dirt. So I'm going to collect dirt, but I don't want to collect dirt in my own backyard because it will deform the terrain, which then looks ugly. So I'm just going to collect dirt over here and deeper in the forest where I don't care if it's deformed. So we needed 2,000 dirt, so I need 10 stacks of dirt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's how easy it is to get dirt. I don't even need a shovel. No Project Zomboid here. There we go. So this charcoal pile is all set. It still needs the tinder and kindling. So we'll get pine leaves and twigs to break into sticks rather to break into twigs. Drop it off, holding left shift to transfer the whole stack. So here, as you can see, with a small piece of flint, a full stack of kindling and tinder, it's a 100% chance to ignite. If I remove some kindling or tinder, the chance to light drops. It's definitely better to have a full stack. And this will produce 15 pieces of charcoal once it's done. The rest of this dirt here, I'm just going to drop. I'm going to discard, which deletes it, because I don't need it. Alright. Before I drink any more energy tea, I want to see when sunup is. So if you lie in your bed, it will tell you, like, roughly what time it is. So sunrise is about 10 hours from now, and I need 8 hours of sleep to replenish my energy. So I don't need to sleep right now. I'll sleep roughly in 2 hours. So I'm going to drink some more energy drink. Some lake Gatorade, if you will. Actually, Gatorade's not an energy drink. But whatever. It is in my world. So we've got the charcoal pile going. We got the firewood going. I think what I'm going to do with my remaining time is forage for clay. We haven't caught any rabbits yet. I could actually... You know what? I'm going to actively hunt a rabbit instead of rely on the traps. So, changing the priority. Hunt wabbits. Are there any tinders in this game inside for pine leaves? Yes. Like, pine cones, for instance. So this stick here, I'm gonna, craft it into an improvised spear. So you start off with a knife and a hatchet, both made of steel. So here's my little improvised spear, and we're gonna go hunting. I'm also gonna equip my compass, because I want to know, like right now I'm heading west. So if I want to get back to my base camp, you know, I need to go east. Don't want to get lost. So if you see anything moving on the horizon, I mean, there also potentially is like deer in these woods too. Plus bears, wolves, coyotes, but probably not early game. As the game progresses, the world gets more blighted and contaminated and full of more dangerous predators, but early game, it's like not so bad. There's also one other thing I wanted to show. I'm not used to playing in the experimental... This was added literally yesterday. In the experimental third-person mode. But because it shows you way further on the horizon, you know, it's like a follow cam, if you will. It is superior for hunting because you can see just so much further. Oh, here's a wabbit. But I have no idea how to hunt in this mode because I've never really used it, so I'm going to go back to top-down now that I've spotted my prey. So if you hold left mouse button, you cock back the spear, and release, and I missed. Your character doesn't have perfect accuracy. There's a boar here. These boars can be hunted for meat, and they aren't aggressive. There we go, dead rabbit. That spear went into a blight pile, so there's... I'm not... No, don't eat my rabbit, you jerk! Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Okay, well, that rabbit is the boar's. I could get rabbit hide? I guess I'll get the rabbit hide, but I'm pissed. That was my rabbit. Alright, I'm gonna collect the rabbit bones, because they're, can be made into bone meal. God, now I need to find another rabbit. I am pissed. You know what? Boar. I missed, and it fell asleep. Hey, there's a stag. With my improvised spears, there's like no way I'm taking down a stag, but I'm gonna do it anyway! Yeah, I didn't think so. There was another rabbit back here too. But the boar's oh, there it is. Boar's probably just gonna eat it. Complete miss. Long stick. Here we go. Yeah, I can't believe that boar... I should have known better. It just, like, walked up and ate the rabbit out from under me. Kind of funny. Oh my god. Yeah, you're not perfectly accurate, so, like, missing is kind of normal. If you haven't been able to tell. Where'd he go? Oh, there you are. I'ma get you. Not like that, I'm not. You know, this is at the edge of the blight. I might be able to pick it up. Yeah, I didn't get that blighted. I got like 0.5 blight. Not a big deal in the scheme of things. The penalties of blight start to rack up once you exceed blight 10. If your blight is below 10, you're fine. Rabbit, can you stop moving? Okay, you're still... Oh, I missed. What? That, like, hit you in the head, dude? Oh my god. Well, that spear is, like, cooked. So, let me make another one. Which is the okay. I'm not using the broken spear. Oh, you saw me, huh? Yeah, run away. I'm gonna get you! Ah! Alright, maybe I should go check my traps, because, you know, my ability to hunt spear hunt rabbits seems to be bad. Although, with that said, in this biome, in like the grassy area biome, it's gonna be a lot easier. Because there's less things for the spear to collide with. Although I have no idea where the rabbit went. Alright, well, it's getting dark, so I'm gonna... Oh, yeah, there you are, in the road. The rabbit is, requires a holy hand grenade. It's a secret boss. I'm coming for you. One thing that you can do, which is really cool, is you can build, like, fences in this game and trap rabbits. So, like, if I built a corral, I could corral rabbits. Oh, there's coyotes on the horizon, so yeah, let's turn back. I'll just eat my blueberries in defeat. So here's the river I live on. Living next to a river is really nice because it's going to be really easy for me to traverse back home because I just follow the river to my peninsula, more or less. Can you breed rabbits corralling them? No. Or at least not yet. The game is early access. Things are getting added regularly, but I don't think that that's going to be part of the game. Starting to get a bit tired. Okay. Alright, Joy Kill. I'll take a nap. One rabbit. Both rabbit snares are empty. Okay, that's fine. It do be like that. I'm going to add some more firewood to the fire. Because I want it to be burning for the entire duration of my sleep. I will also add my spears to the fire because they are damaged. And let's see. Sunrise is 9 hours. I need to sleep 8 hours. It's fine. Thank you for tuning in to The Last Plague Blight, which will really stream live on Twitch October 19th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that I'm trying to avoid spoilers to not ruin this game for others. So if you could avoid spoilers, that would be great. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Blight survivors.